Good morning, and thank you everyone for joining us today for another session for our 2021 Virtual Benefits Fair. We are thrilled that you are continuing to join us to find out great information about the benefits we offer here. I am Kimberly Williams, the Assistant Town Manager, and I'm joined today by Jessica Rojas, who is serving as my co-host, and the other team member we have is, I don't see her yet, but she's coming on, is Tracy Lavoie, who is our payroll and benefits specialist. Um, I'd like to remind everyone that today's session is being recorded for your benefit. You will have this recording on our HR site later today, and so that our other team members who couldn't join us can view. Um, each of the presenters today will be making their presentation, and then they will be opening our session up for questions. So I will get started by introducing our next presenter, Scott Curtis, who is with Colonial Life, a longtime vendor for the town of Bridgewater. So let me get on out of your way, Scott, and turn the session over to you.
Well, thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate all the hard work that both of you and Jessica have done to put this together for us. As I was mentioning earlier, I work with a lot of different municipalities, and you guys have gone above and beyond to make sure that your employees can get virtual information. So kudos to you guys again. Well, and thank you all for joining us here today. Again, as she mentioned, my name is Scott Curtis. I am with Colonial Insurance. We provide some of the voluntary benefits for you guys here through the town. So this presentation is going to be about those voluntary benefits. I do have a PowerPoint presentation I'm going to be going through. Following this meeting, we will have a session where you can ask questions that I will answer. You can always enter them in the chat box, and I can also try to answer them along the way. Also, after the meeting, we will be sharing contact information via the town. You'll get an email that will come out from either Kimberly or Jess that will indicate contact information and some additional information on these benefits that you can follow up on. So without further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen and we'll take a look at that PowerPoint. All right. So from the beginning, this is the Colonial PowerPoint. They've asked us to use this when we do our presentations, and I'm going to give you some of my commentary along the way. Colonial Insurance is a voluntary benefits provider across the country. They provide things like disability, accident, and life insurances. I, Scott Curtis, have been working with Colonial for the last 20 years to provide benefits to different municipalities across the state of Massachusetts, cities and towns. The agenda for today and my beautiful mugshot is who is Colonial Life, what are voluntary benefits, what benefits are available to me, and how do I go about signing up or finding out more. First, let's get started with an introduction. As I mentioned, following this meeting, we're going to send out some information to you guys that you'll be able to capitalize on to follow up and get more information, get your questions answered, find out rates, that kind of stuff. A couple of things you'll be able to do is, one, you can always download the Colonial Life Benefits app. It has some valuable information in it. Go to coloniallife.com. You can get that app or go to your app store. You can also, when we follow up with you, click on a link. We're going to have a scheduler in the link where you can click on it to schedule an appointment with our benefit counselor, Christine Hanley, or myself to review some of the benefits, sign up, make changes, make additions. You can always call in as well anytime you want. But this at least gives you an opportunity if you prefer to have a set appointment with reminders that come out and everything. So Colonial Life provides benefits for life's unexpected moments, including accidents, illnesses, or injury. Let's face it, insurance is for the unexpected. If we knew what was around every corner, there would be no insurance. So the idea here is, protecting yourself against the big what if. What if you're injured and you couldn't work? How would you be financially? How long would it take before you started to panic? Usually I can see folks measuring this time frame in hours rather than days. So a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, protecting that paycheck, making sure that that money is going to be there no matter what is important. Another question, of course, a lot of people think about when they think about insurance is, if I pass away, who covers things like my funeral expenses? Who replaces some of the income I would have been bringing into the family? how does my beneficiaries or my loved ones continue on? Now, you have some stats over here, and you may be familiar with some of these, but Colonial did a little study, and they said, imagine a $400 emergency comes out of nowhere, whether it's a repair bill or a medical bill or something that needs to be paid. 40% of Americans are unable to cover it with on-hand cash, savings, or a credit card. 27% would need to borrow the money or sell something to get it. 12% can't cover it at all. And this just highlights the need to make sure that we're looking at insurances to protect ourselves. Massachusetts has recently instituted PFML. So for our counterparts in the commercial world, they've made them take disability insurance. So now if you're working at a bank or an auto shop, you have disability insurance now provided through the state. The exception is municipalities. Cities and towns are still allowing their employees to make that choice. So I encourage you guys here, take the information we're putting out today, and we'll take a look at some of the options, but be more informed, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that come about. So who is Colonial Insurance? Well, Colonial was founded in 1939. They were actually founded back then with an all-female sales force, so very progressive. Since then, of course, they've opened it up to males as well, and they've been protecting families' finances and futures for over 80 years. They have over 100,000 businesses they partner with, protection for over 4.5 million employees, and they're part of the Fortune 500 companies. And actually, in 2019, Newsweek awarded Colonial #1 in customer service amongst voluntary benefits providers as well. So we bring an unexpected approach to employee benefits. We're committed to providing critical financial support when you need it most. So let's face it, when an accident or illness comes about and you need monies to keep the wheels turning, that's when we're looking to help you out. Our solutions are tailored to your own individual needs, and they evolve with you as your life changes. These are not cookie cutter plans. You, the employee, will be able to talk to our representatives, determine what plans work best for you, and design them so that they'll maximize your situation. We work hard to make filing a claim and managing your account online simple. So we have options now to file online. You can file actually via obviously the fax or mail. You can work with a rep to get you filed. So there's a lot of different options for filing claims. It's easier than ever, and they're getting processed faster than ever. Our average claim processing is under 8 business days. We're able to support or answer any of your coverage questions. I support a local team here, myself and Christine Hanley, that handle the public sector folks. So we're your local support team. You can call us anytime. You also have Colonial Insurance, the company directly out of South Carolina. You can always call them too for assistance. So between the two of us, anytime you need questions answered, we can get to you pretty quick. So voluntary benefits. What are voluntary benefits? These are benefits that help you fill the gaps in medical and other insurances. They're often used for replacing lost wages, savings, household bills, travel expenses, and others. They provide flexibility to help you choose benefits that meet your individual needs. So you're not buying too much, you're not buying too little, you're getting the right amount. So if you have a health insurance with a large deductible, or if you have a life insurance plan provided through your employer, but it's just not where you want to be benefit-wise, these voluntary benefits can come in and fill those gaps and get you to where you need to be. Voluntary benefits here for you guys too are 100% portable. If you ever leave employment for any reason with the town, they travel with you at the same rates and same benefits. Now, these are the benefits that are going to be available to you and your family here through payroll deduction and the town of Bridgewater. Again, when you sign up for these programs, they automatically come out of your paycheck. However, you do have the option of switching over to an individual payment plan anytime you want as well. So you can leave employment or start paying through bank draft or written check at any point along the process. Rates and benefits stay the same. So to get started, we do disability insurance for you guys. We have a life insurance option, hospital confinement, accident insurance, and cancer and critical illness insurance. Short-term disability, I think it's one of the most important coverages we're going to talk about today. As I mentioned, the state of Massachusetts has now made it mandatory for all businesses to offer short-term disability to their employees. So validating my 20 years of work in promoting short-term disability to folks, this stuff's important, guys. Making sure that if you have an accident or illness, you keep money coming in to keep the bills paid, medical or otherwise. So basic, just about anything you can think of: slips, falls, sprains, strains, cancers, heart attacks, strokes, pneumonias, COVID. You end up not being able to work, this policy comes in and starts to pay you a monthly benefit so you can keep up with those expenses. Since last March, they've actually paid out over $12 million on the disability plan alone in COVID-related claims. With these benefits, you can use them where they're needed most. So the money that comes out of this program is yours. You spend it anywhere you need to. So if this month you need to cover the groceries and next month you need to cover the tuition, completely up to you how you apply these benefit dollars when they come to you. They're paid tax-free monthly, and they're paid on top of anything else you have. So if you have sick time accumulated with the town, or you're getting a workers' comp benefit from an on-the-job related injury, the short-term disability pays you monies on top of those benefits so that you can be whole. As I mentioned, it does cover work-related injuries. So if something happens at work, you can not only collect your workers' comp from the town, but the additional short-term disability benefit on top. It's got great maternity benefits in here. This is really a situation where if you're contemplating adding to your family or starting a new family, please, please, please take the time to give us a call and explore the options here. It's really a no-brainer. As someone who signs up for this, that's not currently pregnant, that's the catch, you can't be currently pregnant when you sign up, will be able to more than cover the cost of the policy for the year. So just to be clear, if everything goes swimmingly, the typical payout on a maternity claim is between $3,500 and $4,900, whereas the annual cost on a policy is typically that would cover that is around $900 to $1,000. So again, a nice way in the event of maternity, if everything goes well, to get a benefit to start off the new family. If things don't go well, there can really be a lot of benefits associated with the maternity, not to mention benefits after delivery, but also benefits for complications that might arise prior to delivery. These policies, as we mentioned, are portable. So if you leave employment for any reason, they travel with you at the same rates, same benefits to a new employer or into retirement. Life insurance. I know you guys all know about life insurance, so I won't spend a whole lot of time going over it here. You have two different options we're going to review with you guys today. So if you want something in addition to your basic plan with the town, or you're looking to get something for a spouse or a child, these are going to be some great options to look into. One of the programs we're offering is called Whole Life Insurance. Whole Life Insurance is neat for a couple of major reasons. One, it locks in your rate for your whole life. So when you apply for a whole life insurance and it's issued, that rate you're paying, whatever it happens to be, $10 a week, $20 a week, that rate is locked in for the rest of your life or your whole life. So that means it's very predictable. You can plan to pay for this policy into retirement and make sure that that benefit is available to your loved ones towards the end of life when it can be utilized. So whole life is great for that reason. Again, never increases in cost, stays predictable. You can plan to pay for it. A couple other neat things about whole life is it builds cash value. So for any time as you're paying your premium to the policy, you're building what we call cash value or surrender value. If you ever need to cancel your policy for any reason, you can pull that money back out. It's like an emergency savings. Again, eventually something major event occurs in your life, you say, I need immediate cash. You can cancel this policy, or you can borrow the money from the policy and take just about all the money you paid in back out. Of course, it does provide a death benefit upon death. These programs I find most suited to making sure that there's a benefit to go on, to pass on to loved ones, and as far as inheritance, and then also to cover final expense. Another big thing is currently at certain amounts, there are no health questions for this program. So sometimes something as simple as a diabetic condition may prohibit your ability to get into life insurance. Right now for folks, you can get into certain levels of the whole life with no medical questions. So again, I actually signed someone up who was going through chemo radiation not too long ago. So depending upon your situation, you may be eligible to get into these programs now, even though you might not be eligible for traditional insurance. The guaranteed issue is only for the whole life insurance, and it does not apply to spouses. So it's only for the employee. The next type of life insurance here is term life insurance. Term life insurance is different from whole life in a very significant way. The rates are only locked in for a certain number of years, typically 10, 20, or 30 years. So you buy a term plan today, a 20-year term. Well, 20 years from now, or 2041, the cost of that plan is going to start to go up. But for the next 20 years, all the way up to 2041, it stays locked at whatever rate you set up. Now, we talked about whole life insurance, how rates never increase, and it builds that cash value, and that sounds great. The term, what's great about it? Well, the affordability. These programs are about 3 times less cost than a typical whole life insurance. And the reason is they're only locking in the rates for 10, 20, or 30 years. So they know that they're going to be less likely to have to pay a benefit amount out for death. So that's why these programs are more affordable. They're also great for the majority of folks to make sure you're covering large expenses. A perfect example of a term insurance: I just bought a house. I have a $250,000 mortgage. I'm going to be paying this sucker down over the next 30 years. I want to make sure that if something happens to me, my spouse or my partner isn't stuck with that mortgage. You can buy a 30-year term life insurance for the next 30 years while you're paying down your mortgage. If anything goes wrong, that policy writes a check. After 30 years is up, you have all that equity in your house. Your need for that big life insurance policy may not be there anymore. Rather than paying the increases that they're going to come after that 30 years, most people will just cancel them. Say, you know what? I didn't use it. Great. I got my equity now. We don't need it anymore. I'm going to cancel it. So term plans are great because they're affordable and they can cover you specifically for a period of time, typically in larger amounts too, because of their affordability. Just like all other life insurance, if you were to pass away, the benefits are paid tax-free directly to you. These policies are portable. So again, if you're in a 30-year plan, you leave employment 10 years in, you can take it and continue to pay for it for the other 20 years individually. And then of course, that's the flexibility of individual coverage is its portability. You can change it and add to it as you go along. Accident insurance. Slips, falls, sprains, strains, anything accidental that happens to you, this program is going to help out with the co-pays, deductibles, and medical expenses associated with. So, any situation you can think about over the last 2 years, if you've been to the doctor, emergency room, or urgent care facility because of an accident, this program would have put money in your pocket. The program through Bridgewater actually provides $125 anytime you set foot in a doctor's office, ER, or urgent care because of an accident. It then pays corresponding treatment benefits for other types of accidental conditions you may have treated while you're there. For instance, broken ankle is a pretty common one I deal with. If there's a broken ankle to you, a spouse, or a covered child, covered spouse or covered child on or off the job 24 hours a day, $125 for the emergency visit, $30 for an x-ray benefit, $200 if you ride in an ambulance, $300 for a broken ankle bone, doubles to $600 if a surgery is needed. They pay $100 for crutches, $25 a treatment for up to 10 physical therapy treatments, and then $50 a visit for up to 3 follow-up visits. There's also a benefit in there for appliances. So if you need something that aids in mobility, that could be an additional benefit on there. So that's just one example how one broken ankle would put all of those dollars into your pocket, even if this happened at work. So workers' comp picks up the whole tab. You don't have to pay anything. Those monies still come to you because you had those treatments. I think one of the best things about this policy is its affordability. For an individual, it comes in at under $5 per week. So it's a very affordable coverage, covers you 24 hours a day, and a nice way to make sure that you, the kids, the spouse are covered if anything goes wrong accidentally. We're going to skip over that. That's just an example like I gave you of the broken ankle. This one here is the cancer and critical illness insurance. The cancer and critical illness is kind of a new idea for a lot of folks in insurance. This is a lump sum payment for a diagnosis of major illness. So one of the things that I worry about, and I'm sure others do as well, is I'm pretty good on a lot of savings and making sure I stay healthy. But if something out of the blue comes out, like a heart attack, a cancer, or a stroke, it can really decimate your ability to earn financially and be able to continue to care for your family. These programs are very basic in nature. You pick between $5,000 and $75,000. If you get diagnosed with cancer, heart attack, stroke, major organ failure, end-stage kidney disease, coma, blindness, or paralysis, they write you a check for that amount. You can get up to 3 diagnoses. If God forbid you have a bad run of it, you can collect up to 3 times on the policy. So again, it's a nice way to hedge your bets in addition to what you have for major medical in the event one of those diagnoses come down the pipe. It does go on to tell you, of course, what you can cover with your money when you're paid, but that's your money. It's tax-free, it's paid directly to you. A lot of people may be using it on medical bills, but it's up to you to use it on whatever you prioritize at the moment. Hospital confinement insurance, basic program here as well. It pays for hospitalization, ever more relevant with so many people being in the hospital lately with COVID-related illnesses. It pays $500 for your first 21 hours in the hospital, $200 a day thereafter for up to 75 days. So if you ever have a significant accident or an illness or you get landed in the hospital, you'll start to collect those monies to help out with deductibles, co-pays, other bills. We recently had a woman I dealt with who was in a pregnancy situation who had this program. She ended up with a condition that left her in the hospital for over 30 days with observation for her and the child. We wrote her a check for over $12,000. So in the event that you do get hospitalized, this program can really start to pay some significant benefits. So personalized service to meet your needs. 90%, 7% of employees said that their benefit counselor improved their understanding of benefits. So I encourage you guys, if you got questions on this or you need assistance, please call us. We will be happy to help looking at the different options and assist you with questions you might have. Our benefit counselors can provide that tailored advice so that you get more out of your benefits. We allow you to roll in person, virtual, or by phone. So if you said, you know what, I don't want to enroll virtually, or once we're able to get back on site, you'll see my shiny mug out there. You can wave me down. You can sign up right on site. As of now, we are doing it by phone or online. I'm going to be sending you guys a link at the end here where you'll be able to book an appointment by either clicking the schedule link button or by calling into Christine to do so. All right. Next steps, be on lookout for the benefits information email coming out. Reach out to us to schedule your benefits counseling session. Complete your benefits checklist to make sure you've gotten everything you need. Nice. Now, for more information or to schedule a benefits session, this is my email and address. I'm also going to try to send out a chat message if I can. And it does seem like I have time for one or two questions. So if there are any questions, please feel free to ask them. It doesn't look like my link went through active, but we will include that link on the
We will provide this all of this information to our team members as late after the session. So if you weren't able to copy it down right now, no worries. We'll make sure that you get it. As Scott said, we have time for one or two questions. Please feel free to unmute your mic, or you can put your question in the chat. So I will ask a question, Scott.
Thanks, Kimberly.
So will the cost change if I leave the town's employment?
Great question. The costs on your benefits do not get impacted by employment with the town. The majority of our products actually stay locked in the entire time you own them. They never increase in cost from the day you buy them to the day you get rid of them. And leaving employment will not change that. The rates and benefits will stay the same. Great question.
Great. Any other questions? Well, I'll ask one more. That's okay.
Sure.
So just to recap, are these benefits on top of workman's comp, or is I can't, if I'm on workman's comp, can I collect?
Great question. These benefits are paid in addition to any other insurances you have or benefits you may have. So whether it's workers' comp or sick time or a different insurance plan that you had, Colonial programs are always paid tax-free directly to you on top of anything else.
Okay, great.
I have a question, Scott. Is there a waiting period before you can collect the benefits?
Great question. For short-term disability insurance, there is a waiting period that you will select when you sign up. Some examples of waiting periods are 0 days. If you want it to be the very first day, it can be. They have a 7-day, 14-day, 30-day, 60-day in some instances. So if you have a lot of sick time accrued or you have some savings set aside that you want to use before having that disability kick in, it will make the plan more affordable to choose that waiting period. For things like the accident insurance and cancer and critical illness programs, there are no waiting period. Once you enroll in those, upon either the injury or upon the diagnosis, those benefits are provided immediately.
Okay.
Great question.
Great. So I don't see any additional questions in the chat or anyone unmuting.
Perfect.
So at this time, I'd like to thank you, Scott, for joining us today. The information that was provided in this session will be available on our website, and we will send out an email link later today with the information that Scott put on the screen. We'd like to remind everyone that our open enrollment begins today, and our period of open enrollment is from today through Friday, May 14th. So again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today to learn about all of this valuable information. And thank you again, Scott. We ask you to join us for future sessions as our virtual benefits fair continues. And I wish everyone a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Jessica. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you.